We are live.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am Lori Monaco, the Badass Buddha. I am my business, Align Yourself Inc. I am a speaker, coach, chiropractor, weight loss doc, whatever. And I am coming to you from the very sunny, finally, Southern Connecticut. So good morning.
Good morning, buenos dias. Good morning, mi gente. This is La Margarita coming to you from chilly Tampa, Florida. I don't know who else feels chilly, but the cold here is so different from my Connecticut. I am your spiritual and creative healing life coach, creating art, transferring your emotions onto canvas, onto wood, onto paper bags. I paint on anything I can when I'm feeling trapped. And that's how I transfer emotions, and that's what I want to teach you. So if you have any emotions you want to transfer without medication, come see about me. I got you. I am your author, obviously your artist, and I will marry you here in Florida and anywhere. Call me. This is La Margarita, your gladiator guru. Good morning. Namaste.
That was fabulous.
Thank you.
Very fabulous plug for yourself. Because we've been talking about that, and people, Gladiator Guru is really, really a fabulous coach. And, my goodness, if you need assistance in your life, reach out to her. And we talk about this all the time, that we just really need to plug our businesses more often, because this is our passion, but we also have other passions and purposes. And we always talk about my weight loss program, but we need to call it what it is. That, Gladiator Guru has artwork available for sale you could purchase. She has her books. They make great gifts. She's a phenomenal coach. She's my coach, actually. And she tells you like it is, which is what's so important with a coach. She keeps you accountable, but she's, just think about her as you see her on the show. Imagine her being your coach. So you got to reach out to her, because this goes into our small business brag. We wanted to set up something between now and the end of December to highlight small businesses. So we would like to have, give a small business 5 minutes at the end of each show between now and even up to literally New Year's Eve show. That's fine with us, unless nobody wants to grab that spot. So you have to reach out to us. You have to contact us so that we can get you on. But we also want to post your information. If you don't want to come on, to the show, we want to post your information. So please message us so that we have your picture, the picture of your business, picture of what you sell or your services, how, the pricing, or contact information, so that we could start posting you, and we're going to do this every single day, multiple times a day, that we're going to be posting people. So Gladiator Guru is a small business. So we're
I am a big person with small businesses. So come see.
She's a big person, small business. Yeah.
I'll Venmo you later. Thank you, Lori. That was beautiful. But yes, there's guidelines for what pictures you sent, how they have to be ready for us to post. But I believe that if we unite and we put ourselves out there, and you have a platform to do so, then just contact us by any means that you can, and let's get this started. Let's put ourselves out there, and that's what this group does, is we help uplift. So let's uplift one another. Today, Lillian's coming on to show her art. Hopefully she'll encourage another small business to come on Tuesday. And that's what we do. That is what we do with one another. So let's continue that and make money in the process.
Right. Support our friends, our tribe, small businesses. And plus it's the art, it's the work put into a lot of these small businesses, especially the craftsmanship of the products that a lot of these individuals are selling. It's so unique, and it's so one of a kind, and it's not just about product, it's services as well. But Gladiator Guru is correct. You know, just contact us, and we do have a criteria because we need it to be simple so that we could just post it very rapidly as opposed to us doing the legwork. And then in return, the only thing we're asking is that you share our show. That's it. You know, share it, get people to follow us, like us, you know, that kind of stuff. The bigger our audience becomes, the better, more beneficial it is to you as well, for those of you that have businesses.
And if you are a business that's going to come on, just imagine if you share it with everybody that already knows your business, and then another person that you don't know shares it with everybody that they know and knows their business, but those people are going to gravitate towards you and vice versa. So you all come out winning.
It was like that. Remember that commercial back in the day, the shampoo commercial, and they'll tell two friends and so on and so on. Do you remember that? And they would show the person with the shampoo, and they would put all these little click boxes in there. You know, remember that?
No.
I forgot what shampoo that was.
No.
So we're going to do shout outs. Want to do some shout outs?
Yes. I don't have my watch party yet because it doesn't let me start, but we're not going to get frustrated about that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's up with that. That's so strange. So good morning, Lillian and Francia. Good morning. She says good morning. Again, Lillian always says good morning, Queens. I just love that. Tiffany Bryan is in the house. Tiffany, what's up? Michelle, what's up, Michelle? She says good morning, beautiful ladies. And so does Tiffany. Good morning, beautiful ladies. All right.
Good morning, my beautiful queens who are up early this morning sharing this Thursday with us. This is a great topic, and I think from what I heard from someone who was watching on Tuesday, that the person they were watching with couldn't deal with listening to what the facts that we were putting out there. So while this person is watching, that person upped her volume on her phone and started watching Facebook videos while the other person sitting in the same vicinity watching.
Was it that they couldn't deal with it because they were in a relationship with a narcissist, or they themselves were the narcissist?
No, they know narcissists and they continue to enable.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So
yes, that'll do
ignorance
it.
is bliss, yeah.
It's actually distraction. You distract yourself from the truth. That's what it is. And then you don't want to. Oh my God, I can't think of the word. You don't want to deal with it, so you just ignore that it's like even a possibility. Yeah, I see that all the time. Especially again, once you become aware of the people around you and the people that are in your family or friends or anything like that, and once you see the narcissists very clearly, you could then see the relationship that everybody has with the individual. Oh, denial. That's what I was thinking of, is that everybody around them lives in denial. And it's just, I find myself, it's very interesting because I came to really this massive awareness of this piece of my life in the last 6 months. And I sit there as an observer and look at family and friends who deal with these narcissists that I know. And it's just so disturbing. No matter what you say to the individual that's dealing with them, oh, you know, they're doing this, they're doing that. No. They don't want to believe it. They don't want to hear it. And they get mad at you for pointing out the narcissist's behavior. So now I'm at a point, at first it's frustrated the crap out of me and I was getting angry at the individuals. But now I've just let it go and said, okay, you know what, if you want to be that stupid, because it's not ignorance anymore. Once information has been pointed out to you, it becomes, now it's your own stupidity and your lack of, not ability, but your lack of wanting to make a change. So anyway, so thanks for bringing that up, Gladiator.
But like, who does, what person that is, let's talk immediate family that loves you and wants the best for you, but sees and knows that you're toxic and that all their lives, all you've been doing is trying to help, that eventually it just turned into enabling because you just like, whatever. What person, what type of person does that? Is this person narcissistic in some ways? Is this person very codependent and needy? Like, what is this thing to enable somebody that you know it's not helping them? in the long run.
Well,
In the long run,
that's
it's more.
actually a great question. That's actually a great question, because there are people that are narcissists as well, but vast majority of them are just very codependent, insecure individuals, and they get very attached to the narcissist. That's what feeds the narcissist, and then the enabling feeds them even more. And yeah, and once you're aware of it, it's painful to watch when you're seeing it from a different perspective, and knowing full well what the narcissist is doing versus, and then how the other person is responding to them. And it's really actually painful to watch.
It is, because, and then and then other people around you who are trying to tell you, you can't do this. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for us all involved. And they still go ahead and include the narcissist into the tribe. What does that create then? But then while you know all the past behaviors and you're still willing to do this, what does that say about you? That's what we need to know. It's like, why?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that today with our guest, Laura Turiano. But the other piece too is we're going to talk about the manipulative nature of narcissists, because we didn't really get into that detail. And we're going to talk about a very specific thing that they do that often really throws people off that deal with them. Sometimes the person truly doesn't understand that this individual is manipulating them because they are so good at manipulation. So sometimes it is that they don't have a connection. They don't see what we're seeing on the outside. And that's why they keep enabling, because they just don't see it. But the enabling comes in from their own lack, the enabler's own lack, that they're equating loving the individual, showing their love and receiving back from the narcissist. And that's why they keep doing it. It's like an addiction. It's literally like an addiction.
It is, because you know what, like that part where I didn't see that in him. To me, shit, Helen Keller saw that back in the day. You know, so you can't tell me.
Denial. It's
yeah,
denial.
And so your denial is going to break families. It's going to isolate you from people who want to be in your life. So I mean, it's something that we need to learn. If you feel you're in a situation with the narcissist and you really don't know nothing about it, mi gente, research it. There's tons of videos on YouTube. Shit, Pinterest has a shitload of it. I started a board on narcissists. I mean, TED talks about it. I'm always watching TED Talks. I mean, if you don't want to read a book, then watch the videos on it and hear how people, like, they say funny things, but just educate yourself, because if you're out in the workforce, you know, there's places you're going to be at your own family, because you're only protecting your spirit. You're protecting your blood pressure and all of that stress that you don't need. So you'll be able to know who's who and stay the hell away from them. Because if you can't help them, then make sure you're helping yourself. And a shout out to my sister Connie, who tells me, she says, good morning, loves. She's with a client cutting hair right now, and they're both watching us.
I know, that was awesome. That's awesome.
I love you. Thank you.
That's awesome. And good morning to Isimar Rivera Pinero, and Argenis is on. Good morning, Argenis. And yes, Michelle said gaslighting. So we are going to talk, that's exactly what I was talking about. We're going to talk about gaslighting. Let's do the intention and the mantra real quickly, and then we'll get Laura in here, because we're giving that last 5 minutes to Lillian Maldonado. So we want to make sure that we shove as much as we can into today. So what was I doing? Was I doing the intention or the mantra? I don't remember.
You're doing the intention.
Okay. All right. So the intention for today: I will be brave. I believe in myself. No one can break me. I will be brave. I believe in myself. No one can break me.
I love that. And mine is the mantra, and it says, at this moment, I will allow my spirit to dance and my soul to sing. At this moment, I will allow my spirit to dance, ole, and my soul to sing, because it's a beautiful morning.
And that's actually your own quote.
Yes, that is my quote.
We have to make sure you get credit for that. So if you're going to use that quote, you have to put Gladiator Guru's name next to it. All right, so let's get Laura in, and we will finish our conversation on narcissists. And I have a feeling, Gladiator Guru, that this is probably not the only conversation we will ever have about narcissists.
No.
Probably going to be a couple times, at least a couple times a year. All right.
They're the visiting demons. That's what they are. We're always fighting them demons.
Yeah. They are the parasites, truly.
Laurita! Buenos dias, beautiful.
There we go. Good morning.
How are you, Laurita? I was like, why isn't she responding?
Yes,
Here.
Good morning, my salsa queen.
Good morning. How are you guys?
We
Good.
are well.
You are well?
And we're happy to have you. We're excited about the conversation and the input that you're going to bring into this conversation. So
Oh my God, I have so much to talk about.
Oh yeah, that's what I was just saying to Gladiator Guru. Like we can have this like 2-3 times a year, just a conversation on narcissists, which probably needs to happen because it's like an infestation right now. It's like they're like locusts.
Yes,
They're
yes,
flying in.
yes. Well, I think a lot of what's happening is that we're breeding narcissists because for so long, I know with my parents, we were kind of like low on the totem pole in terms of priorities, and our needs weren't met. And I think there's been a shift in that with the different generations of parenting, that the kids are everything and their needs are top priority and they're always the focus of everything. We're not born a narcissist. We are raised a narcissist. And lots of times, the family environment is what creates the narcissist. And I hate to say this because I'm a mom, but moms are the ones that are usually the ones that are kind of molding this person. And there are some kind of like inborn elements of control. So I have some things I just want to talk a little bit about, what are some of these things in this environment that are breeding these narcissists, right? You want me to start there?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Absolutely.
So oftentimes you'll see narcissists come from an inborn element of control. So there are issues of control in the family, and also some kind of like extremes in expectations, right? They have to be the best student, the best football player, the best violinist, whatever, right? So they're always measured against these high levels of extremes, and they're looking to always perform in that way. And that's oftentimes we'll see, I think the underlying factor with the narcissist is the fragile ego, right? And
Totally.
We'll see that across all different kinds of narcissists, the grandiose narcissist. And I don't know how much you guys have talked about in terms of the different kinds of narcissists, because they all don't look the same, but they all have that same fragile ego, and they all have these 3 E's. I'd like to just throw those out there. The 3 E's. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Exploitation,
Yes.
entitlement, and empathy impairment. We're looking for those. As soon as our little antenna go up and we see those elements of empathy impairment, you just can't get the person to kind of feel what you're feeling. You're explaining it. It's just nothing. That's a sign, right? Low empathy, entitlement. They are above the law, right? They feel entitled to have whatever they want. And you think about, go back to that childhood of those parents that were just doting on them and telling they were the best thing since sliced bread and all of that. That kind of mentality kind of transfers into their future relationships. So exploitation, and I'm sure you guys have talked about that element of manipulation that comes.
Oh yeah.
So they learn it young, and that's a characteristic of the home environment that they see. Manipulation is big. Manipulation between parents, between siblings, between parents and siblings, between family members, extended, everything. It's just,
and they get good at it because they start as children and they start to figure out how they end up manipulating the mom. They manipulate everybody in the family, and the more they do it, it's just like anything. It's a learned behavior, and the more you do it, the stronger it gets in your brain. So they do it over and over again, and then by the time they're adults, they're masters at it. They're masters at and manipulation with, lying. We're going to talk. One of the things I definitely want to talk about today is gaslighting.
Oh yeah, I have that on my list.
Yeah, because we didn't get a chance to talk about gaslighting, and I think that's a really big piece because people think when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you think you're crazy. Like you're like, did I say that? Like they twist you so much. So that's definitely a piece, which is that exploitation you're talking about, that manipulation. So keep going. Keep going.
Wait. I have a question for you, Laura.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, do you think parents fail their children by not nipping in the butt when they first start seeing that type of behavior being formed?
Well, I don't necessarily want to blame the parents because the parents may be narcissists too and unaware that they're even molding new narcissists, right? And I think some of the narcissists are, and we'll look at some very prominent figures in our country right now, they don't even know how much of an ass they are, right?
Or they don't care. They don't care.
And they think they're the best thing since sliced bread. So can it be the parents? I do think that parents have a hand in it, but the parents may be just as sick as their kids. Because water seeks its own level.
Yes.
So can we blame the parents? I think the parents have a hand in it. Is it totally their fault? I wouldn't say 100% no.
Okay.
It's an insecurity on both parts. It's an insecurity of the parents and it's an insecurity of the child. And then the parent is so blind to their own insecurity. So because and I'm just saying this from experience, like I've seen this within my own family dynamic, is that the narcissist is always connected with an enabler. And so that the enabler is so insecure themselves trying to seek love and let me give them attention. And then the narcissistic child is soaking it up and they give them just a little tidbit to make the enabler feel better. And it's just this horrendous cycle. Like it's this horrendous,
It's a very codependent dynamic.
Oh, terrible.
Yes.
Terrible.
Pookie said that sometimes they manipulate themselves, then they don't even know that they do it.
Yeah.
And that they're good at twisting the combo scenario. Pookie says hello, Laurita.
Hi, Pookie. Pookie, look how long my hair, my COVID hair. Oh, God.
All right, go ahead.
So I just want to go a little bit, and we'll move on because kind of to Margie's point about how can the parents be to blame? Well, the environment is what's creating these narcissists, right? So be very aware of the expectations that you're putting on your kids. A lot of narcissists grow up in households with lots of anger and inconsistent care from their caregivers. Yeah, so it's like kind, unkind, extremes in like overabundance of love, and then an overabundance of perhaps even abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, absolutely. So you see how these dynamics are starting young. Also, I'm just looking at some of my notes. A lot of guilt induction in these families, right? And a lot of shame, right?
Yes.
So when we're oppressed like that, we kind of build up these walls, these defense mechanisms, and we don't really breed a whole self-worth, right? So our ego, I'd like to say, is like fragilely constructed like on a house of cards. And that house of cards has to maintain what it looks like. And when you expose the narcissist, that's when the whole thing, and when you start to get onto the narcissist, that's when you really see it, because you're so sometimes blinded in the midst of all this that you can't tease it out.
So what happens when you're raised with more verbal abuse and no encouragement, but it's more like name calling? Like you grew up thinking your name was bitch and your father was Elvis. Because there was more love towards cleaning his velvet picture frames and his and his bust and everything. So, I mean, because not everybody that is raised in that way becomes a narcissist. Sometimes, you know, but I can understand where you're coming from, because we see it. Okay, go ahead. I just wanted, because not everybody, like, there's so many people that will listen to that and latch on. Well, it's because my parents were like this with me.
No, but that's not what Laura's saying anyway, because Laura's saying, like, when you come from a household like you did, which is abusive, that's where insecurities come into play. That's where you second guess yourself. The entitlement isn't usually found in situations like that. Entitlement is found in individuals where they say, oh, this is my son. I'm not thinking about anybody in particular. This is my son, and he's so great, and he's so wonderful, and look what he can do. And they put him on a fucking pedestal. That's the problem. And then what you're saying is that 1 minute they're the greatest, and then there's this emotional, mental abuse.
Yeah, when they're
on the other side,
and nobody's watching.
Right, and then the person might not even be aware of it, because the parent is so freaking insecure themselves. They don't even know what's coming out of their mouth.
Yeah. No, I understood.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I understood. I just wanted to put that question out there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I know people like that too. Go ahead, Laura. I'm sorry we interrupted you.
No, that's okay. I think your input is so relevant, because it adds to everything, and it brings like a personal experience into some of the things that we're talking about. So I think, just to clarify, you know, it's an environment of a large dichotomy of kind, like overabundance of building up a pedestal, and then it's tearing it down, and you're a piece of shit, and there's abuse and all of that. That's the conflicting message for the child or the adolescence or whatever. It's like, where do I fit in here? Am I a piece of shit, or am I the best thing since sliced bread? So you see how tenuous that ego really is. Development. Yeah. Okay. So do you want to move into like some of the behaviors of the narcissist, or do you want to do a little bit of what a grandiose narcissist is versus a covert narcissist? Have you talked about those different types?
I think we cover. Yeah, go ahead. Can you start off with gaslighting?
Yeah. So gaslighting, as Lori had said, is this kind of like warped perception of reality in terms of the narcissist. They kind of see it through this lens, and if the lens is always slanted towards them seeing it as the way it is, and the way you see it is really not how it is. And I'm not even going to entertain your view, because again, I am entitled, I have empathy impairment, and I'm going to exploit your vulnerabilities to make myself look good. That's gaslighting. So an example of gaslighting would be, you're out, an event goes down, and you see it one way, and the narcissist sees it another way, right? Let's say you were kind of, you're out, you're in a relationship, you know, you as the woman see your man check somebody out, right? We all do it. But the narcissist takes it as, well, you can't ask me who I was looking at, and you're jealous, and this is how this is going to go down, and this, that, other thing, and you're like,
I was just talking to them. That's what they said. I was just talking to them.
Yeah, no, it's about how they see you in that role, right? And they're like, oh, you're oppressive, you're gonna hunt me down, you're a clinger, you're this, you're that. You're nothing about that, but their reality is what they're pushing onto you, right? That's gaslighting. And you're like, you stand there and you're like, what the hell just happened? That wasn't my intention. That's not my reality, but that's how they see it. And it's like, and sometimes in relationships that I've been in, I'd be like, how do you see that? Like, how are you getting that? And you feel like you're losing your mind, that your reality and their reality are two different points.
Yes. Yes.
That's gaslighting. So it's the reality disparity, right? Because it's their warped perception of things that protects their ego. Remember, it's all about ego and it's all about ego that drives a lot of our behaviors. If we really want to look at it. Yeah. So another thing is hoovering, right? And another thing is love bombing. Have you talked about those?
No, we didn't get into any of those. So before we go into love bombing, because
Yes.
Let's talk about I just want to say, guys, I had a couple of examples of the reasons. What are some gaslighting examples? Because as the viewers hear them, because that's the thing, it's like they have to be aware of what is very specific so that they can recognize it on their end. So
Yes.
gaslighting are things like telling blatant lies. I never said that. When the person confronts them, I never said that.
Yeah.
They use what is close to you as their ammunition. They try and wear you down. Their actions do not match their words. They will often compliment you just to confuse you. They know confusion weakens you. They are a master of projecting. They send their flying monkeys against you. So you could talk about the flying monkeys too, if you want. They tell you and others you are crazy. They tell you everyone around you is a liar. They make you anxious. So they're telling you to hurry up. Like if you're telling them something, they're telling you to hurry up so that you can't think straight. And what it does to the victim is it causes self-doubt, confusion, low self-esteem, post-traumatic stress, and codependency. And that's the whole point of the manipulation, to keep you where you need to be so that they can control you and keep an eye on you.
Well, they call that the narcissistic supply.
Yes.
All of those things that you just mentioned, I love those, Lori. Those are like excellent ways, like real specific examples that this master manipulator is using to keep you right where they want you so that you can keep blowing up their ego, because that's what they need. And they do all of those things. They create this environment that you're crazy, you're the bad guy, they're talking about you, there's contempt, they kill your spirit. It's very reminiscent of an abuser, right? So even if we looked at the extreme, and we're not going to compare a domestic violence with narcissism, but it's kind of that same kind of manipulation in that they're trying to alienate you from everybody else, right? So that you have no support system. They talk about you just like you said. They're creating these lies around you. They kind of exploit your weaknesses. They know just where to go to kind of hurt you so that you will rely on them, and they blow you up, and they make you think that they're the only ones that can love you in the way that you need to be loved, right? So that's speaks exactly to that. And that whole love bombing is exactly that. So when you get to this place where you're going to call the narcissist on something, right? And the narcissist will not take criticism well. That's a very important piece of recognizing a narcissist, is they are highly sensitive to criticism. Anything, right? And we all are to a certain degree, but this person, you will see them change, and that comes up, and then it's like they have the quiver of arrows in the back, and as soon as you say something, those freaking arrows come, and then they start going right at you. And it's all about you, and you're this, and I'm like, whoa. I'm talking about you. Let's just go right there. So anyway, this whole dynamic goes through. And, we get into an argument, and it's kind of very difficult to dance around this ego, right? I'm telling you a need, or I'm telling you how you hurt me, and it becomes all about them. Another key to look for with narcissists, the conversation always comes back to them. It's very rarely on you. Okay. So we go through this whole dynamic, and then the love bombing comes. They need to shower all of this love on you, and you're the best thing since sliced bread. I think I've said that 3 times today.
Yeah.
a new analogy. You know, they just make you feel so loved, and they
reel you. They reel you in. The
Yes.
minute you start pulling away, they reel you in. Oh, I can't live without you.
I can't live
blah,
without
blah,
you.
blah.
Oh,
Yeah.
baby, you're the best. I don't want to fight. I just want to be with you. Boop, all this warm, ooey gooey, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Don't think for a moment it's about you, because it's not. It's about them. It's about them kind of trying to save face, make themselves feel good, get you in a place where you're going to keep giving them that supply. It's all about their ego. And that's why they have people in their lives, is to inflate their ego.
Yes.
Action that they take is about their ego. It's about making themselves look good and feel good.
And once they know that you're onto them, they will avoid you like the plague. Like if they realize that you can no longer be manipulated, they will avoid you. And I have seen this happen in my family, and it's comical. Like it's absolutely comical, because it's somebody very close to me that I grew up with, and this person just is nowhere now. Like is nowhere now, because they know I'm on to them, and because I've said it, and yet, I mean, they still manipulate the people around us, but and when you can pull yourself away from the narcissist, talk about a breath of fucking fresh air. I will tell you, like it's you feel like, because you lose yourself totally. So maybe talk about that, Laura, like how they manipulate over a course of time, where you just you lose yourself. And
well, I think it's a part of that manipulation and that emotional abuse, and sometimes we almost become addicted to the trauma of that, and that's what we call trauma bonding. It's that high of love, and this love bombing, and you feel so warm and ooey and gooey, and this is best person ever, and you're there, and then the next, whatever, you're walking on eggshells, and then you're over here, and it's like a knockdown, drag out fight about ego and disappointment and criticism and all that. And just that dynamic of back and forth creates a bond. So I love the way you said, like, it's a breath of fresh air, because you're so tied up in that dynamic of love and disappointment and the best thing and then the worst thing and all of that. And a lot of people, once that mask is down and you kind of stand up, and there's a great thing, narcissists work hard to get you, but they don't work hard to keep you. Because once you've demasked them, you are no longer of use to them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and that kind of feeling is very tough for the victim, right? To kind of recover from that.
It takes a minute, but
it is. I've seen people recover from this, and I see they go through this stage of absolute anger in the beginning, where they're mad at everybody, and then they come back to where they finally find themselves. I had a student years ago who was her husband was a malignant narcissist. I mean, he was as bad as they get. She started to share stuff with me and the class, and she would say things, not really even saying it to make him look bad, but I'm listening to this going, and mind you, I was insecure back then, so I was being, I was totally in with narcissists at that time, but it's always easier to recognize somebody else. And she's telling me this stuff, and I'm going, oh my God. And she would exercise every single day, and you could see she was doing whatever she could to avoid it. She was so skinny. She had an eating disorder, and then all of a sudden they broke up. Like they broke up. I don't know how she got, but she left. She ended up leaving the kids with him. Then she fought to get them back. And then this little side of her came out, where she was this mean, manipulative, angry individual for many, many months. Yeah. And it was just because the anger, because once you come out of it and you realize how long you've been manipulated, because you get mad at yourself. You're like, oh my God, how did I allow that? Yeah. But it's not your fault, because they're so good at what they do that they leave you in a state of, I don't know if I'm coming or going. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think for that person that you're talking about, I think that anger, because anger is always more, I don't want to say acceptable in our society, but you know, behind anger is always hurt. If you dig deep down into it, it's hurt. So that anger that she
Good point.
was just a deep crushing wound, I think. And we kind of hide behind the anger because anger looks better, right? Anger doesn't appear weak or soft, you know. So anger is a much cooler emotion in our society, which is pretty sad.
Right.
Yeah. You talked about the malignant narcissists, right? And I think they're kind of similar to the grandiose narcissist. Malignant to me seems more like cancerous and evil and bad. Yes, there are narcissists out there like that, right? And they're easy to spot because they're very grandiose. They have a false inflated self-image. You know, it's all about them. They appear to be very selfish and self-absorbed, right? All narcissists are self-absorbed, but these narcissists are like, you can kind of spot them a little bit easier. The covert narcissist is much harder to identify.
Yes.
Because never would you think that this person who is very shy and humble, socially awkward, doesn't have an ease to them, can be a narcissist, but they can. And they're harder to spot, but have the same characteristics. Once you tear off that humble humility about them, it's all about them. And that's the kind of pervasive theme that you're going to be looking for.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure.
There's like
The other one that's really harsh. I'm sorry, Guru. I keep cutting. Go ahead.
I'm gonna allow it for this show. Go ahead.
That wasn't a narcissistic.
No,
answer at all.
that was me being nice. Go ahead.
Gosh.
Just say really quickly and then go ahead and say what you have to say. The other one that's really tricky too is the victim narcissist, because they make themselves out to you. They want you to feel sorry for them so that they reel you in, but then they become that annoying, typical narcissist. So go ahead, Gladiator.
I was gonna say something. It already left. It was about the covert one, because those are all around us. The covert narcissists.
They are.
And we fall very easily for it because of it. And because I believe that we all have that possibility of full-blown narcissists. I think some of us just keep it in check more, or we learn how to breathe more, you know, before we say anything. But I believe so too. I believe we do.
Yes, I do too. I think with all kinds of mental health or mental disorders, they are on a continuum, right? So there is a narcissist continuum too, right? And I think we all have elements of narcissism. In fact, when I was telling my daughter last night that I had to get up early to come on the show, I was like, you know, I'm talking about narcissists, and she's like, you're a narcissist. And I was like, what? Like, I have my heart bleeds for people. I have the most empathy in the world. I'm like, how could you say I'm a narcissist? So being like, you know, concerned about yourself and taking care of yourself is not a narcissist, right?
Thank you for bringing that up.
Don't misunderstood. You advocating for yourself or setting boundaries or that's not a narcissist. A narcissist has the fragile ego and manipulates everyone around them and has those 3 E's, that exploitation, entitlement. The rules don't apply to these people, right? The societal rules don't apply. I think we could look at, you know, people in power right now. There's nothing that can affect them. They're like Teflon, they feel like nothing can get to them because that's just them, right? So that's something that you have to really kind of pay attention to.
Yes.
Okay. Did you finish, Lori? Because I interrupted and you thought you interrupted me. And did you finish saying what you had to say?
Oh yeah, that was all I had to say.
Because we danced a little. We danced the jig right there a little. All right. Laura, we do have to have a part 3 to this, or
Yeah.
Is it time already? It's 8:50.
Yeah.
Well, we got started 5 minutes late, so that was part of it too. And we can probably go into it just 5 minutes over if you want to, Gladiator Grower, to make up for the time. I wanted
we
to
have
mention.
Lillian coming
Yes,
on.
no, I know. So I'm keeping an eye on the time, and I see her. She's in the waiting room.
Okay.
One thing I do want to say though is, because I wrote this down, because once you start to become aware that you're surrounded by narcissists or you're in a narcissistic relationship, the other piece that, and this is probably where we need to have another conversation, is to how to either escape from them, because you literally have to use that terminology. I mean, it's really like that, or how to set boundaries so that you keep away, like you could stay in the relationships you're in, like if it's family. So one of the things is to, so it says, this one says actually, how do you survive gaslighting? But this is just in general with a narcissist. Keep a journal, keep a journal of the things that they say to you, because they're really good at twisting it and saying, I didn't say that, and then don't let them know you keep the journal, because if you keep the journal and then I wrote this down, you said that you're writing stuff down, they're going to make you feel awful for doing what you're doing. And it's just for your own sanity. This is just to help you. This has nothing to do with them. Yeah. Get a second opinion, and you need to seek objective support. So you don't talk to the people that are within the realm of the narcissist, because they'll never agree with you. So you want to get people outside around you. Give the abuse a name. I love this one. This is saying, call it something so you separate yourself from it, meditate. And then the other piece is, once you're out, no contact. You can't let them back in, because then they'll reel you in. And until you are strong enough, they will always reel you in.
Yeah, that's called hoovering. The reeling in, hoover, like a vacuum. Hoover, they seduce you back into the relationship, right? Because they've lost their supply. So they'll do whatever they need to do to kind of manipulate you back with, right? And literally, as Lori said, you have to kind of tear yourself away from these people and go no contact, because if you allow contact, you could possibly set yourself up for that hoovering. And at this point, your armor is I mean, like self-preservation,
of course,
thin at this point, because you've been abused, that you're victim to this. So the best way to avoid that is no contact. And all you want to do is contact, because of that trauma bonding. That's
yes.
We all just want to contact and say, but what happened? Give me closure. And the silence speaks volumes when it comes to that part.
Oh yeah, we could have a whole conversation about that, Guru.
Yeah, Laura and I talk about this.
Don't ever wait for closure.
But it's like, it's wanting that closure. I'm gonna tell you what I associate it with, from my personal experience. It's like 3 days in the desert and you're ready to drink sand. Like, you need that water. That's how bad sometimes that feeling of wanting closure from this one particular person is. So it's a lot of self-talk. It's a lot of reaching out to somebody to tell you why the hell you want to do that for. And it's a slap in the face, but it's a slap into reality. But that's what the tribe is for, because that's how detrimental our thought processes of wanting closure is, like being in the desert and just like hoping to find an oasis before we drop dead.
Yeah. I think closure, we can't get closure from outside of us. We get closure from within. We have to close that door and shut it down within our own self.
Yeah. It's self-talk. But sometimes even with the self-talk, it's like we open the window this much for the self-talk, but everything else is trapped inside of us. And that's where we need to reach out to somebody that we know is going to tell us, wake the fuck up already.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it. I'm tired of you bitches interrupting me today. Go ahead.
We can't go to the perpetrator for the solution, right? We can't go to the person that hurt you to resolve the pain. It's not going to happen.
Especially not with a narcissist.
We
especially
want
not
to,
with them.
because we think we need that last conversation, and But that's normal. That's a nurturing woman's need to know where our thoughts become our own worst enemy, and the narcissist knows that about us.
Yes.
So
yes.
by us just saying no mas and saying, oh my God, Lori, blah blah blah, Laura, oh, today was a bad day. So that's how we open the window bigger and bigger, where we can get that full breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
Ourselves. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well
Yeah,
said.
you'll never get closure from a narcissist. They will lie. You know what it reminds me of? Remember that song, Say It Wasn't You? Remember that rap star? He's my girl caught me on camera. My girl caught me on camera.
It wasn't me.
Say it wasn't you. And it's like, you're in the camera. Like, she's seeing you in the camera, and he goes, just say it wasn't you. And that is what happens. And the girl will be looking, going, I see you. I see what you're doing. It's just, no, that's not me.
Yeah.
And then and they get you to get to a point where you're like, well, maybe it wasn't him. And it looks just like got the freckle on his ass and everything. But no, that's not him. So it's not the same person, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we got to have a second part to this, Laura. So be prepared, because now Lillian's coming on. But we
got to get Lily on. So, Laura, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Laura, you can stay on if you want to watch her jewelry. You can do that, Lori? She could stay on and have Lillian.
Absolutely, yeah, if she wants to. Sure.
Yeah, Lillian has custom pieces.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, so just an idea for the follow-up, not for now, but there are 10 ending points that we need to be aware of when it's time to leave the narcissist. And we'll leave that for our next session on narcissism. So flags that kind of say, hey, you got to look at this and it's time to get out. So we'll talk about that.
Oh my God, we definitely, Lori, we need to redo our scheduling.
I know. I think it needs to be done before the end of the year. People are going to be like drooling for that. Okay, that sounds perfect. Okay, great. All right, so we're gonna let Lillian in for our small business brag 5-minute session for her to let us see what her beautiful jewelry looks like. All right, here we come. Here she is. Yay, Lillian. Good morning.
Could you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, so tell us about your business and show us some stuff and how we can contact you.
It's Exceptional Me Jewelry. I created it so that every woman who wore a piece of it would know how exceptional she is. Coming from victim to victorious, a former domestic violence victim, one of the things that you keep with you is that feeling of worthlessness. So I wanted to make sure that when women wore a piece of this jewelry, she felt exceptional and remembered how loved and wonderful and amazing she is.
Amen.
So here are some of the pieces. Behind me, you'll see. So these are my I call them my bohemian. It's sliced agate. And every piece of jewelry has a meaning to it. It has the healing stones. This one has howlite. There's pink zebra jasper. We have this hand of Hamza. I can't tell if you guys can see.
Go up a little high. Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Oh, like mine. But mine has the black. Yeah, that one's
This one has the Nepal beads from Nepal. And I do a lot of bead weaving on earrings.
Oh, I can't do that.
Ooh.
So all of my earrings they're not components put together, they're actually weaved. So I do a lot of bead weaving on the earrings. I have these bracelets that I call Create a Stack.
And how much are those, Lillian?
These are normally $14. Right now I have a 25% off sale going on. I have a website. It's called Exceptional Me Jewelry, www.exceptionalmejewelry.com. And if you go into the website, it's 25% off everything on the website, but I created a coupon code called Viva Cafe for 30% off all necklaces. So it's today through Monday.
Oh
So
my God.
anybody that's interested in purchasing one of the necklaces, here's another hand of Hamza. And I'm so busy right now because it is the holiday season creating. That I showed this to Margie last night, and this is going to be part of a necklace. So I don't know if you can tell. So it's got the Nepal symbol, but it's the colors of the chakra and tassels on it.
Wow, that's nice.
Oh, wow.
So this is going to be a necklace.
It's the Ganesh, right? Is that the Ganesh, the elephant? Yeah?
No, I don't see an elephant on here.
No, is it the body with the elephant that we saw in Thailand?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but no, it's not.
Okay.
It looks, oh yes, I do see an elephant there.
Yeah, it's the Ganesh.
Margie, that would look great on you.
I know.
She's my biggest fan. So this will be the statement piece. A lot of the pieces that I make are statement pieces, and they're custom made. So they're usually not duplicates. I make one piece. I make one piece and that's it. So, you know, I might I have 4 of these pieces, but the healing beads will all be different. So that's basically what I do. Also, like, people will tell me what they want. People can direct message me and ask me, do you have this? Do you have this in this color? Can you make this for me? And I can do that too.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Great.
It is. It is. I love it. So they go on exceptionalme.com.
Exceptional Me Jewelry.
Exceptionalmejewelry.com, and the coupon is Viva Cafe from here to Monday.
Viva Space Cafe through Monday, 30% off all necklaces.
That is the one. My 2 sisters are on. Janet's like, I want it. When can I pick it up, Lillian? I want a bracelet and the necklace with the band. And my sister Connie says, me too, baby sis. I love them. And Michelle says, gorgeous work. And she is, she's
I know, I follow her.
Yeah.
I follow her.
That's a great compliment.
So thank you, Michelle. So you can also find me on Instagram under the same thing, and on Facebook under the same thing, Exceptional Me Jewelry.
And the coupon is for the website.
The coupon is for the website. It is Viva Space Cafe, 30% off all necklaces today through Monday.
That is awesome, Lillian.
And Lillian, you ship, right? You ship out, so you're
definitely.
Good. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you are. And when do you need orders by? Is there a specific cutoff? I'm not saying for the discount specifically. I'm just saying, when would you need orders by to be able to give you enough time to get stuff for Christmas?
So anything that's on my website is already created. I'm going to say the 20th, maybe the 19th, because it's not based on me. It's based on the post office. I don't know how quickly they're shipping.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Good point. Okay.
That's
great.
Awesome. Did you make the earrings you're wearing?
I did. And then I have this ring that I made.
Oh.
So.
Oh my God, I love that.
Hey, look at her. She's giving us the middle finger.
You know what? You gotta have patience.
I made it a little too big, and that's only where it fits.
You gotta have patience to do tiny beadwork like that.
Yeah. It's healing for me. So not only am I creating to make people feel exceptional, but it's my healing. I feel totally at peace. I'm by myself. I'm in my zone, and it's healing. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Good. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So
this is wonderful.
We'll put Lillian's information up in the description of the today's video and in the comments section so that you know where to get to her. And yes, thank you so much, Lillian, for sharing your creations. They're so beautiful, and we've loved what you've made for Gladiator Guru. And
Yes.
I'm going to have to order some pieces as gifts for that Gladiator Guru. And Laura, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. And it was a great conversation. And we will have you on again because, right, Gladiator Guru, I think this is something that really, we need two more conversations.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else, Gladiator Guru, you need to say before we sign off?
No, just for anybody out there, I know Michelle's going to be on the show, correct? With her work. for any small businesses, it doesn't matter what it is that you do. You don't need to make jewelry or this. Just your small business. Please notify us so that we can schedule you in from here till
New Year's Eve, she said.
Yeah, New Year's Eve. Yeah.
And don't forget, Three Kings Day is also a gift-giving day for us Boricuas. So, but yes, that's it. That's it. Just make sure to contact us, mi gente.
All right, everybody. So thank you so much for coming on today. Everybody have a great weekend, and signing off from me. Remember, be you, be real, be extraordinary.
And namaste, mi gente. Remember, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.
Bye.